So in this session, I want to talking about dividing a whole number by a unit fraction and dividing a unit fraction by a whole number. And I like to do these in conjunction with one another because it's kind of a misconception with my students that they're the same thing. And when I have these side by side with the unit number being divided by a whole number, I use those same values and in reverse. I can prove and have evidence that they're indeed not the same thing. And as always, I insist on giving my problems a context. If I'm not giving one a story problem that I'm trying to solve, then I give the problem that I'm solving a story context. So here we go. I am going to use my whole number, 3 divided by 1/4. That is my dividend. That's my divisor. I'm solving for the quotient. And in a moment, I'm going to take 1/4, that will now be my dividend, divided by my divisor, 3. And I am going to prove that these are not the same thing. So, again, I have 3 wholes divided into 4s. I'm going to give it a context. So I'm going to say I have 3 gallons of ice cream. If I eat 1/4 of a gallon a day, how many days are my 3 gallons of ice cream going to last me? So to do that, I'm going to draw 3 whole arrays representing my 3 whole gallons of ice cream. There's 1 gallon, 2 gallons of ice cream, 3 gallons of ice cream. And again, I'll eat 1/4 of a gallon of ice cream a day. And so I'm going to have to take this gallon and break it into 4ths. There's my 2nd gallon that I want to break into 4ths. There is my 3rd gallon that I will break into 4ths. So how many days is it going to take me to eat 3 gallons of ice cream if I eat 1/4 of a gallon a day? 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, 6 days, 7 days, 8 days, 9 days, 10 days, 11 days, and 12. So it is going to take me 12 days to accomplish that mission. That again is when we have a whole number divided by a unit fraction. Now, I'm going to use a different context here. I'm going to stick with the days and the ice cream thing. I'm going to say I have 1/4 of a gallon of ice cream. And if I want to eat an equal amount of ice cream over the course of the next 3 days, how much ice cream will I eat a day? Again, 1/4 of a gallon of ice cream. I want to eat an equal amount of ice cream over the course of the next 3 days. How much ice cream will I eat each day? Well, I'm going to take 1/4 and the ice cream and divide it into 3. So I'm going to draw a whole gallon. Now, I'm actually going to make it a little larger there so y'all can see it better. We don't have a whole gallon of ice cream in this story problem. I only have 1/4 of a gallon. So I'm going to take a whole gallon and break it into my denominator 4 equal parts. Right now I've broken it into halves. Now I'm going to break it into 4 equal parts. And now that I've broken it into 4 equal parts, again, we've established that I only have 1/4 of a gallon. So I'm going to take these 4 parts, but I'm only going to use one of my 4 parts, my numerator. And I'm going to do what I call criss it. They call this crisscross. I'm just going to criss it for now. I'm going to criss one of those 4 parts. That represents the amount of ice cream that I currently have. So my goal was to take that 1/4 of a gallon, eat an equal amount of ice cream over the course of the next 3 days. So let's do that. Let's take this 1/4 of a gallon, break it into 3 equal parts. So I'm going to write in there. The first day, I'm going to write day 1 and circle it. The second day, this would be my 3rd day. Each of those days, I ate the equal amount of ice cream. So choose one of those days. Remember the question was, how much ice cream will I eat each day? It doesn't matter which day you pick. So let's just pick one of them. I'm going to pick day 3. On day 3, I could use day 1 or 2 and got the same answer. I ate one of the what parts? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I ate 1/12 of a gallon of ice cream. And as you can see, 3 divided by a fourth equals 12. A fourth divided by 3 equals 1/12. They are not the same thing. Here I had to take, well, my 3 was my dividend. I had to draw 3 wholes. And by the way, my quotient was also a whole number. When my dividend was unit fraction, my quotient was unit fraction. Okay? So, just 2 different examples of taking whole numbers, dividing them by unit fractions, or vice versa, and giving each of them an appropriate story context.